got one that can see.
So literally, we opened a center in Silicon Valley back in 2017. And the woman who runs it, she's an ex-Facebook executive. I have software engineers and data scientists working at ADL. We're monitoring all this stuff. And we're working with all the platforms, by the way. Google and YouTube and Meta and Twitter and Reddit and Steam and Amazon, all these companies. From like Apple to Zoom, we work with all of them, okay? That's relevant because we've been working with Twitter now since it was founded. We worked with the old regime, working with the new regime.
Trying to.
Oh my God. So I am the director of development. Yeah, and I'm the community manager for Arizona.
Gotcha.
Right, you take people off of some of these platforms like Twitter or Facebook, and then they go to different platforms.
Yep.
And so it's kind of this balance of like keeping some of these spaces safe, but also not having them burn to this like dark place where you're just with like-minded people.
Yeah.
And so it's this really interesting balance that we kind of continue to have about like making sure they don't go down this like rabbit hole.
Yeah.
But also they're not spreading hate and misinformation. Because you want them to be out in the open, because the more they're talking out in the open, the more you can stop incidents from happening. Like, we're not going to ban them, we're just probably not going to engage with them to the same degree. Well, one of the things we say is everyone should have freedom of speech, but not freedom of speech.
Yeah.
And so I just think that makes so much sense, right? Like, you can say whatever you want, but once you start having to reach a social media platform that you're impacting a lot of other people, that's when it becomes an issue.
I don't know if you met with Elon or what, but you guys would put out a list that you did not want, that the public and the advertisers did not want unbanned. It was like Alex Jones, Nick Fuentes, Donald Trump, Kanye West, and
we definitely do like public statements to make sure that like they are held accountable when there are letters that go. I think like when Elon Musk took over, it was like this is our expectations of you being in this position. Like we hope you do the best. Like we hope you can be a partner. Here's what our expectations are. So that's definitely something that we've done.
Develop this new technology to, because a lot of these sort of extremists have podcasts, but like who has the time to listen to like just them drone on and on, where like 99% of what they're saying is like about video games or something. And so there's this new software that it can actually like scan the entire podcast for like flagged words.
Wow.
And then like extract, like when they talk about some like extremist activity they want to perform, and then it like extracts it out. So I thought that was really cool.
See, that's the kind.
How much money gets fundraised on some of these platforms for extremists. So a platform like, why can't I think of any, like a crowdfunding, a GoFundMe type of place, like we raise, that's how extremists raise their money. And so bringing awareness to some of these companies, like your platform is allowing these extremists to raise money for visual stuff. And so that was an interesting report that we also kind of did a deeper dive into.
Yeah, so we just established a law enforcement advisory council, which convenes local police departments and other law enforcement agencies all around the state. Sometimes we're called when something happens and then we loop in law enforcement. Sometimes law enforcement reach out to us to see what we know about something.
And making sure that any of the intel that we get on a national level is given to all of the law enforcement locally, and so that the trends that we're seeing.
To give you the scope of the system covers the entire internet. Right now, 2 social networks, Facebook and Twitter, and it covers all the posts, all the tweets. Of them, it identifies every day 200,000 suspect posts and tweets that are suspected for anti-Semitism. Then it analyzes them using artificial intelligence and machine learning, and ultimately identifies roughly 10,000 anti-Semitic posts a day. As of now and forward, this information is going to be made public. It in itself will be a great deterrent to anti-Semitism. Suddenly we'll know which city is the most anti-Semite city in terms of internet activity. We'll know who are the 10 top anti-Semitic tweets and Twitters. We'll know on a certain day we see a spike in anti-Semitism. We'll be able to drill down and understand what caused it. Just by the fact of knowing all of this, it in itself hopefully will shame people into acting better. Here in Tel Aviv at a specific location, it's up and running. This command center takes the information that is analyzed and created here and then acts. It could be, for example, identifying a specific post that is calling for anti-Semitic action and then notifying the local intelligence and law enforcement forces in a certain European country. It could be to tell the municipality of a certain city, and this week I might say that Manchester is one of the highest anti-Semite activities. So call up the mayor and tell him, do something about this. So by knowing this information, we can act. And this group of analysts within the command center, it's up and running as of now.
Propaganda and vertical disinformation, and what you need to know. Propaganda and vertical disinformation are the main techniques used to manipulate public opinion, defined first by Sigmund Freud's nephew Edward Bernays in the 1920s. Here's the differences and how you can recognize them. Propaganda persuades by biasing true information towards a specific ideology or position, using emotional appeals and selective truths. One could also include lying by omission, telling a truth that lacks vital surrounding truths which would transform its meaning. In contrast, vertical disinformation spreads falsehoods from authoritative sources down to the public, exploiting trust to mislead and control perceptions. Describing reality as something which actually doesn't exist. Lies, basically. The key difference lies in their approach to truth. Propaganda bends it, while disinformation blatantly disregards it. Both aim to shape mass thought, but through different mechanisms of influence and deception, highlighting the importance of critical scrutiny in discerning between manipulated narratives and factual information in today's digital media landscape. In an age where not just information, but much of our actual worldview is being informed by tools run by centralized authorities, Google, OpenAI, Microsoft, etc., these concepts are becoming so vital to know, it may one day prove to be life-saving. But what you must first ask yourself is, am I subjected to propaganda or vertical disinformation myself? Are my beliefs decided by myself after conscious consideration and gathering of facts and experience? Are my news sources and information providers carefully sourced, or were they provided to me automatically? If you feel confident that you are not lied to much, and your perception of the world and events is generally pretty close to reality, well, that is the major warning signal that you are, indeed, living in a manufactured reality. You should take this certainty you feel and become very wary of it, and embark on investigations to establish for yourself that what you take for granted are granted at all. You have nothing to lose. If you are correct in your assumptions, you will enjoy confirming them. But you have to brave the experience of exploring perspectives that aim to disprove, and do so honestly. Good luck.